Cloud instances also require data protection. In Google, obviously you can deploy easily in new instances with some persistent data. With Storware Backup and Recovery, you can easily connect to Google Cloud Platform and protect this data along with the instance's metadata. In this video, I'm going to give you a short overview of what is possible with Storware Backup and Recovery. Let's start with logging into the Storware Backup and Recovery. This service can be installed anywhere, but the nodes in the Google Cloud Platform, so the data movers that we use, need to be installed one per availability zone, so that we are able easily to reach to your volumes. The very first step is obviously the dashboard. It shows me a brief statistics of what is happening in my environment, what's my success rate, protection rate, and I see here one node being deployed, one node that is installed in the Google Cloud. I have also one synthetic backup provider in this case, and usually I start with the configuration wizard where I can set up the location settings and later choose to configure the source. Now I can specify the source and I can configure Google Cloud Platform as one of my supported sources. I can also specify the backup destination configuration. We support file system based backup destinations, object storage, so you may also store in the other cloud or maybe using the enterprise grade backup provider if you are able to reach them from your cloud. And then optional you can define some basic SLAs or internal database backup settings. However, from the virtual environment section, that's the main place actually what you do all of the operations, so the infrastructure tab. Notice that actually already provides me information that I have one hypervisor manager, it's called Google Cloud Platform in this case. Obviously it doesn't have any hypervisors because these are not related to this type of the source, and I can run inventory synchronization from here. It also is being done automatically from time to time, so we will have always updated inventory in the Storware Backup and Recovery. In the other tabs you can notice that I have specific storage classes that are available for in this account, networking that are also can be selected, or projects. I see two of them right now. In the flavor section you will see the machine types that are also can be selected during the recovery. Because we detect the projects, you can also apply quotas. Quotas allow you to create soft or hard limits. Soft is just the information, the notification to the admin. Hard prevents any additional backups from being done or restores. And if the user, let's say, invokes more than X backups in the specific given time frame, like 24 hours, it will be blocked. In the instances view, you have all of the instances that are detected. Notice that here in my Google Cloud, I am in the Storware development project. I see one of the instances. Micro is the one that I'm interested in, and now I would like to invoke backup on this instance. Let's start. We support both full and incremental backups. And incremental backups is a generic mechanism, so it also is able to protect the volumes regardless if the GCP support or not the CDP. In this case, we track the changes on our own, and it invokes the new task in the console. Actually, it's a backup workflow, so it's happening right now. And it's a two-step process. We first export data to the node running in the cloud, and later we push data somewhere, whatever is your backup destination. Optional, you can have a secondary backup destination enabled if your primary is synthetic, and the data would be stored in two places using the same workflow, so two store tasks would be visible in this console. In the details, notice that I have some backup restore statistics, my backup size, backup time as well, so I can notice the bottleneck wherever my store task maybe takes longer than it's supposed to, and some restore statistics as well. At the bottom of the screen I see the backup history, Notice that I have, in this case, two locations being enabled. Export is still in progress, and to both of them the backups are going to be transferred using still single export task. Then I have a restore history, optionally some snapshots if they are already visible or not, and disks. I can exclude disks directly from this place, so I don't have to back up all of the volumes attached to my instance. Here I see the effective schedules of the instance assigned to the policy which this instance actually has is using. So in my case I have GCP development backup policy already assigned. With the additional settings, notice that you are able to override strategy based on the virtual machine level, so you don't have to use the same strategy for the all of the machines. You can have this additional capability like the incremental backups just selected for the specific VMs. Backup SLAs allow me to automate this process. I don't want to click all the time the same backups manually. I want to have it obviously scheduled. So in the auto assignment section, I'm able to automatically create rules based on the, in this case, naming convention. So I have a regular expression that basically assigns all of the virtual machines, and optionally I need to have the some way to limit the scope of this automatic assignment. Currently this one is disabled, and this allows me to limit to the specific projects or regions in this case, or availability zones as a form of the cluster. So availability zone is here presented as the cluster, and region is going to be a specific data center. Now in the virtual environment section, you can manually assign specific virtual machines. This one has already been started, so you can notice that the backup is running. And rules is actually the most complex place, because this section actually describes where to store the backups. So in my case it's a synthetic one. If I would like to enable secondary backup destination, for how long or how many versions I would like to keep in my backup destination, and according to which schedules. This secondary actually means that I'll have two store tasks being created, so notice both of them has just been invoked, and I'll have the backups being stored in two places in such scenario. I can add more rules if I need, so more backups according to different schedules can be generated. Now in the instances view, notice that I have additional buttons. My backup has already completed, so now I can invoke restore operation in that case. Backup is up to date. This one was very small, and now I can restore back to the hypervisor manager, and I'm able to specify which account I would like to use, which availability zone or region, and then in this case it's region, which cluster, so availability zone, and which project name where eventually the instance is going to be restored. So let's go back to and use the same one. It's going to be restore 1. I can use the original volume types, or I can map them to the new ones so that I don't have to use the same storage class. I can map network interfaces to the specific networks that are available in the account, and optionally I can change the machine type, so flavor in this case, and during the recovery process. Let's go to the summary and invoke the restore process. Restore also is a two-step process. So behind the scenes, if it's a file system, it's easy for us to reach the data instantly. Optionally, we need to merge the chains of the backups if it's an incremental backup. But synthetic backup provider allows us to quick restore in this case. The data is already merged. So the restore phase is pretty much short in that scenario. Then we have to import data back to the hypervisor manager, in this case to the Google, and once the data is pumped back, we can initiate a new instance. Notice that the restore phase has just completed. Now the data is being transferred to Google. Now the restore has completed, so let's go to the instances view here in the cloud. And notice that I have a newly created micro restore 1 instance available in the cloud. You don't have to restore back to the cloud always. You may sometimes want to just grab individual files, and Storware Backup and Recovery allows you to do that. With the Mount button on the right, you are able to automatically mount file systems and browse them via the browser. Maybe you would like to selectively specify which file systems you're interested in, or you would like to export over iSCSI shares. It means that from the node in the cloud you will have the iSCSI option, but you need some guests to be available in the same network segment as your Google Cloud instance of the node, right? So in this case, I'm able to expose whole volume, and that's especially useful for Windows guests, where inside maybe you would like to browse with the native Windows permissions instead of downloading files directly from the browser. So let's invoke the mount operation on one of my nodes. Again, this is going to create a new workflow. This time is called mount, and the very first step is to invoke the restore operation, optionally merge the data. In our case, because it's a synthetic backup destination, this one is going to be instant, and once this is complete, in the mounted backups you'll have a successful entry. So in the details, notice I have 2 file systems, and now I can click browse and download data directly from my browser. I can also remotely upload, so from the node to other instance, over the SSH the data that I select in this window. One of the cool things about the automation is that you would like to execute such operations on multiple instances. So in the recovery plans you have similar concept to the backup SLA, but the opposite direction. So I can create a plan, such as this one, and I can create a set of rules, each rule matching the type of the hypervisor manager. So in my case, I have Google Cloud Platform, but I can have multiple rules with different set of environments and different settings. Inside each rule, I have the virtual environments section. Optionally, I can assign schedules. In this case, it periodically is going to invoke these recovery operations with the restore parameters that I have in here. So either last successful backup is going to be restored, maybe last regardless of status. So I may explicitly want these restores to fail, to have that in the report. And what is the target? So again, the hypervisor manager, availability zone, the prefix or suffix of the recovery plans. Maybe I would like to have all of these instances being small, because these are just a test, or customize the networking. It's worth also to mention backup destination section. So here is the place I have already discussed. You may want to have different backup destinations being configured using the file system, like this one is synthetic, but you can also use the external other file system based providers. Object storage, especially useful for the cloud, because we also support Google Cloud Storage. This is one that you may be interested in. Or you can use the enterprise grade backup provider if it's deployed in the cloud. Rare situation, but it is there as well. That concludes this video. I really encourage you to download the Storware Backup and Recovery, deploy it into your cloud account, and test it out. And thank you for watching this video.